Tennessee. Something like 40 miles, 50 miles east of Nashville, Tennessee. We are going to Illinois. The birthplace of Abraham Lincoln. We're headed north-northwest at the moment, but in about a minute or so we'll be headed due west. Straight west, you'll see the sun right in your eyes. watching this evening? Where is everyone watching from this evening? Oh, I'm a little tired. Probably should have tried to sleep some more. We're going 63 miles an hour up this hill right now. That is 62. That is not 26, that is 61. Can I get a 60? We have a 60 up this hill right now. We are pretty fat, not overly obese. Tonight we're weighing in around 74,600 pounds. About 5,400 pounds beneath the legal limit for the type of truck we're driving. The legal limit for the type of truck we're driving is 40 tons of fun, or 80,000 pounds. I have driven trucks up to 110,000 pounds before. That is the highest weight I have driven, is 110,000 pounds. It was a heavy haul truck that I drove in the western United States. Trailers on those trucks have extra axles that you can raise and lower depending on the weight of your trailer. It's kind of cool. So you could raise and lower the axles to the ground depending on what you're hauling. It's pretty fun once I learned that. jump in front of a truck like this moron in the sedan just did. Sometimes I wish I was in a Supra with some house, I'll tell you what. So as you can see, with the sun right in front of us, we're headed directly west right now. Directly west. Sorry about the beeping. Believe me, it bothers me a lot more than it bothers you. It drives me nuts. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, and if you like this stream, just double tap on your screen twice, and that'll give me a nice big fat thumbs up. We are knocking on the doorstep of Nashville, Tennessee right now. We will be there shortly. know where you guys are watching from in the comments. I'm interested to know. Especially since we'll be in Nashville soon, and I won't have the chance to stop. And I have a feeling we're gonna hit some fun. metroplex that is Nashville. Nashville's, I think it's bigger than a lot of people realize. I do want to stop and get some coffee. I have to be up really late tonight, so I'm not really risking staying up because I have to be up. Okay, so that's a palette. Rather have a Loves, to be honest. At least right now. That might be the In-N-Out that is the furthest east in the United States. Wow, we're so lucky. We're passing the In-N-Out that is the furthest east in the United States. There is a man walking on the highway right there. That is not safe. Why are you going so slow? Why? Why, Mr. Anderson? Why? Why do you keep on? Gonna get some mother effing coffee right now before I fall asleep at the wheel. No, I'm kidding. I won't fall asleep at the wheel, but I just do really want some coffee. I used to have a coffee maker in here, and then it got gross when I was like changing companies, and I never got a new one, and it's been alright, so whatever. It's really odd how stubborn I can be and how stubborn my ex is. I talk about my ex like I'm still hung up on her. Oh, because I am. No, I don't know. Anyway, I don't have a coffee maker anymore, so I stop for coffee a lot. Or I just buy Starbucks iced coffee from Walmart, and it's really freaking good. Just the medium roast Starbucks iced coffee that you could buy in the refrigerated section in Walmart is delicious. I don't put any cream or sugar on there. I just drink it straight up black. I was supposed to see this other girl next week in Kansas City, but there's like so many things she texts me that I don't like. I'm like just weird stuff. Like, first of all, we've never been on a date yet. I met her at Target, and she wants me to move to Kansas City, get a job near where she lives and works. there's a few other interesting details about her that I'm not going to share on the stream, just because even though no one will ever find out who she is, I'd rather keep some of the stuff personal, just even though, again, I would never tell you guys who she is. Certain things about her are pretty interesting. So last night I decided that I would not be seeing her next week. That's when you know you completely stopped buying stuff for the sake of buying stuff. I haven't thought about, I'm thinking about it now because I see the Amazon Prime truck, but I haven't thought about like Black Friday sales of any real kind, like at all, for a couple years now. Maybe more than that. But I definitely haven't thought about buying like cheaper stuff or stuff that's on sale on Amazon during like Prime Days or Black Friday for a few years now. The only thing I really buy now are like clothes and sneakers. And that's pretty much just when they wear out. I need a coffee. Can someone just like airdrop some coffee to me? That would be amazing. That would be literally amazing. Oh, Mr. Amazon is getting off the highway. I wonder if he's done for the day. I'm hoping for his sake he's done for the day. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's not. I've either been taking crack in my sleep or I have cancer, because I've been losing a lot of weight lately. I guess I've been exercising a little more than usual, but I don't think I've really cut down on food. Sorry if I triggered anyone with the cancer comment, but honestly, like, I've either been doing crack in my sleep, which is not probable, because if I was doing crack in my sleep, then I would stay awake, or I'd wake up after I did the crack. Or I have like some kind of like flesh-eating bacteria in my body. I've been losing weight. I wouldn't say like at a seriously fast pace, but I think it's been pretty consistent. I guess I have been eating more healthy, and I have been like saying no to a lot of different snack foods, and I'm not drinking alcohol for the year 2025, which is 33 and a half days away from being over, but and that, I'm not counting down the days because I'm not drinking alcohol this year. I'm counting down the days because for a different reason, but the end of the year, December 31st, signifies something important to me that I might share or I might not share with my mother. It's not about the alcohol, but I have been eating more healthy, I have been drinking less soda, and I have not drank an ounce of alcohol in 2025, so that obviously is helping with the weight loss. But I feel like I'm lighter than I should be. I'm not complaining about the facts, but I feel like I'm lighter than I should be. Pretty soon I will be able to call myself a fat trucker, and then like what will I be? Like what will my identity be if I can call myself a fat trucker? I'm gonna cry every night, or all day, or both. So we're on the fringes of Nashville. If you couldn't tell, this is getting thick out here. Shit thick. Oh, baby, she is thick. This, what is this, a Honda Odyssey? What is this, a Chrysler? Is that a Chrysler Pacifica? Look, right here on the right on my bumper. How would I don't even know how I know, like, that's a Chrysler. I guess I've been on the road for a long time, but certain cars that I can identify, I think it's weird to me, because I've never even, like, thought about those cars, at least consciously in my life. Now I'm going to get like 15 or 25 Chrysler ads on my phone tonight and tomorrow. And I'm going to be so freaking thrilled. So freaking thrilled. The guy on my right in this SUV, you can't see him obviously, he's in a silver SUV, he looks like a felon, or like some kind of like ratchet drug dealer, a fugitive of the law. This Tahoe, he's in the Tahoe. I feel like everyone that drives a Tahoe has a criminal record, am I right? And I feel like anyone who ever buys a Tahoe, it's always used. I don't think you could buy a Tahoe brand new. I don't think that's possible. Not that anyone should ever buy a car brand new, but I feel like you can't even buy a Tahoe brand new if you wanted to. It's always used. I don't know who used it, but it's used. We are about to be in Nashville proper. This is the fringes of Nashville. You can see the traffic getting a lot thicker as we inch along this highway at 69 miles an hour. That is 69, not 96. The felon fugitive in the Tahoe just cut in front of us. That is why our truck started beeping like some kind of sadistic heart monitor in the emergency room. Okay, so I don't think you guys know this, but I used to be a paramedic, and I just thought of some medical terminology. So tachycardia means that a heart is pumping quickly, like. So if a patient's pulse was high, when I brought them into the ER, I would call them tachy. I would say, she's tachy. And that would mean the patient's heartbeat was going fast. Now, bradycardia means the opposite. Bradycardia means that someone's heartbeat is slow, or like slower than normal. So if I brought a patient into the ER and their heart rate was, say, 55, definitely 50 below, but say around 55 below, 55 or below, I would say they're bradycardic. And that's bradycardia, and that means the patient's heart rate is low or lower than normal, depending on what's going on with the patient. You might use different phrasing. Anyway, that's some trivia for you. I make a hell of a lot more now than I did as a paramedic. Sad. I've thought about teaching like high school, because I have a college degree. I make more than double what I would make teaching high school. Pretty sad. So yeah, it's pretty freaking sad that I make more than double right now than I would teaching high school. That is maddening to say the least. And I'm honestly, I don't know how I could live on, like, and you know, I'm not trying to like trigger anyone. I know people don't make certain amounts of money around the U.S., but I don't know how I could live on like 50 or 55K. Stuff is expensive. And that's how much a high school teacher makes where I would want to live. And that's just not enough money. Guess we should have stopped at that pilot for coffee, because there is nothing, it seems, after the fact. Don't do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. I'm talking about this this little pickup truck with the little cute cart on the back. He is behind some people that are going fairly slow, and that's why I was saying, don't you do it. I didn't want him to move over to the left to be in front of go slow. So that's why I started singing to him. Yeah, but teacher salaries around the U.S. are like so embarrassingly low. We are near the airport, so we'll probably see a few more planes landing and taking off. Something's telling me red light. I really want a coffee, and you know, guys, I know it sounds like I'm complaining. I guess I am complaining. I really want a freaking coffee. Drive your Sometimes I have to like restart the stream to make sure like enough people are watching. It's like this weird thing that happens on YouTube. I'm not even gonna worry about it tonight. If it's a small crowd, if it's a small intimate crowd, then let's do it. I'm not even worried about it. Let's just have a chill evening in Nashville together. Western Express, you don't need to be in this lane. You don't, no, you're good. You're good. No, you're, oh, motherfucker. Alright guys, I don't even care if you've worked for Western Express before. Western Express, the drivers that work for Western Express are the bottom of the barrel. The bottom of the barrel. Let's put it this way. When you get in accidents, like when you get in a bunch of accidents, like bad accidents, when you get a bunch of speeding tickets, etc., when you have bad credit, the company you go work for, Western Express, worst drivers, worst, I mean, they're bad. They are bad drivers. Swift and, what's that other company? What's that other bad one? Anyway, Swift and Prime and carriers like that make Western Express look good. You go to the truck stop, 9 times out of 10, the Western Express truck you see will have a battered up front end because they keep on hitting everything. It's just so interesting to me to see like the stereotype play out in real life. I knew a guy that worked for Western Express, and he told me he started out there. I have no idea how his like personal driving record was. It might have been poor, and that's why that he had to go to Western Express. Anyway, so when you join a trucking company, etc., like you go. Sometimes the orientation's online, sometimes the orientation's over the phone. It really has to do with the experience. The more experience you have, the less likely your orientation is going to be in person. Generally, that's not always true. I've had 90-minute orientations over the phone. I've had 1-week orientations in person. It really just varies. Anyway, this guy started out with Western Express, the company I was just bashing for good reason. And he told, so basically when you go for a trucking orientation in person, they put you up in a hotel. The first thing you do is go to the hotel, check in like the night before orientation starts, to sleep, etc. He told me when he got to the hotel for orientation, there was no more rooms left. They had overbooked the hotel. There was no more rooms left, and like people that were supposed to start orientation the next day were sleeping on the ground outside the hotel. Like that's how ratchet this was. Like that's how bad this was. I'm gonna kill someone with speaking. So yeah, just to give you an idea of Western Express, they go through drivers like a whore goes through lube. It's like pretty much the worst big it's the worst big carrier truck company to work for. And the only reason you would go work for them is if you have a bad driving record or like a criminal record of some kind. Or both. What does that mean? It says there's a Love's next exit, but there's like 50 freaking exits next to each other. So what exactly does that mean? What does that mean? Next exit 46B, next exit 46A, which? I really need one of you guys to airdrop coffee to me before I get crazy. guess by now this is Nashville, Tennessee. Big sprawl. Obviously there's like the famous downtown Nashville, but it's like a big sprawl, and it's like a giant sprawl, kind of like Oklahoma City, and what other cities like that? St. Louis has a giant freaking sprawl. Like you're in St. Louis for like 5 years of your life when you drive through. St. Louis is like that. OKC is like that. St. Louis I think has the biggest sprawl of any smaller city. Like you're in St. Louis for literally like 5 years. Like you'll be like, 32 years old when you begin, and then you'll be 37 when you're leaving. And you're like, what happened to 5 years of my life? No one sent me a birthday present. It's messed up. It's messed up. And then like places like LA, I mean that's just different. LA is like a state. I mean, it's a city that's like a state. It's so massive. Kind of like Dallas is so massive. Dallas is like another city that's like should be its own state, etc. It's just so okay to just cut in front of cars. And then they wonder, like, why did that big truck smash me to death? I have no idea why that driver is so unsafe. It had nothing to do with me jumping in front of him in traffic while going 30 miles an hour when he was going 70. It had nothing to do with that at all. Remember guys, when you see that driver, don't worry, they're going to get theirs real soon. Real soon. The road is an unforgiving place. It is the one place in this world where people get their comeuppance quickly, efficiently, and often. guys, we are in western Tennessee right now. On the I-26 from the Interstate 26 going northwest into Kentucky. Up some Tennessee bourbon, and now we're going to go see the horses, the race horses in Kentucky. We are pretty fat. We are not tipping the scales fat this evening. We're about 75,000 pounds of fun, or 37.5 tons. So an American ton is 2,000 pounds. That is 2,000 pounds, an American ton. And I think I have the conversions in my head for metric tons, etc. But I don't want to make a mistake, so if you guys are interested, just look those up. have a slightly squeamish feeling like there's going to be an accident in a few minutes. I really don't want that to happen, but I just have this feeling. Maybe we'll get off and get coffee before the accident, but then I have to go through traffic afterwards. Decisions. There just seems to be some real jokers on the road today, driving like fanatical a-holes, and the mix of fanatical a-holes with people who aren't used to driving on a Friday evening is not good. Ford, yeah, it's just not a good mix today on the roads. And then like normal people just coming home from work. Will God bless me with the truck stop soon? Because I'd really like him to. How is the video quality tonight, guys? Let me know. Let me know. few minutes ago when I was saying I felt squeamish, like there might be an accident that happens up ahead. I wonder if these brake lights, I wonder if an accident happened up ahead. And if it did, I wonder how recently. Craving right now. I'm craving a grilled ham and cheese, and that kind of hurts my soul because I can't have a grilled ham and cheese. I saw a QT billboard, and QT makes some pretty good grilled ham and cheeses, but I'd rather make my own. And I'm not even sure if that QT has truck parking, so there you go. Not gonna go. But if you are not near your home and you would like a pretty banging grilled ham and cheese, you can get one from the QT. You can get one from the QT. We're going 40 miles an hour right now. That is 40, not 04. Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream for a little bit. Probably be back in a little bit. Probably be back in a little while. Thank you